Hey there, Leo. How's everybody doing today? I hope that you're doing well. I'm really looking forward to taking a look at your November forecast. And I already have some channel messages in front of me, and I can't wait to see what the cards have to show as well. I'd like to start off by welcoming everybody. If it's your first time here, it's great to meet you. If you're a return viewer, thank you so much for showing up again. You make it all worthwhile. This is, again, is for the sign of Leo. We'll be looking at November. But as always, a lot of the messages that come through may resonate right here and right now because the first portion is channeled. So those messages often have a little bit more urgency to them. The way that I organize this is in about 4 main parts. I begin with psychic downloads or channeled information. And this is me in the morning when I connect with my guides, reflect on any dreams or meditations that I've had, and then connect to the cards and meditate over those. So basically clairvoyant information first. We'll move along to the Celtic Cross afterwards. I let that take on any sort of flavor that it needs to. So sometimes it's more relationships, sometimes it's more career, sometimes it's just sort of like soul development. And I already got some of that in the channeled messages, like just really trying to be the strongest version of yourself. And after we do that, I expand it to make sure that we do hit on areas that I know that you appreciate, including health, wealth, love, and destiny. And we'll review everything after that point and then go a little bit deeper into the soul path. And that's a chance to take a look at something that really resonates a little stronger than the rest as we look at the first portion of the reading, and then we can get some more clarity, past, present, and future influences on that. And then we'll go ahead and meditate and have a sound bath after that, listening to a singing bowl. So a lot to kind of work through and a lot of valid information coming through, hopefully giving you what you need to get started. I'm going to put Apollo down so that he can rest and we can focus. I'd like to welcome Ryan and Maria. Those are my moderators. You probably saw them chatting here before we got started. If you have any high-level questions or need some clarification on what's going on, they're great for that. So thank you guys for showing up. And I'd also like to just quickly mention how I handle Q&A. I don't in this sort of a reading, basically. I know a lot of readers out there will take questions. I find that distracting because I get into a channeled state and I really need to focus on what's going on. But I do welcome Super Chat as a way to support the channel. This is a really good way to help me buy supplies, right down to the note cards that are in front of me and the markers that I need to use that. And as well as that, I also like to upgrade all of my cards, and I've been doing that lately. I will have a Q&A session that's coming through in about a month's time. More to come on that. I'll probably do a video at the end of this month and tell you what's going on. So hold tight for that. But for now, it's just going to be Leo, November, and I will be sharing that in mass with the masses here today, and hopefully you enjoy it. One last thing, if you are watching this on replay, there is another way that you can give back. It's called applause or applaud, but it only works on desktop. I noticed some people saying it didn't work. It's probably because you were using it on mobile. It's this little heart icon. It'll only show up on replay, so you won't see it here while we're live, but afterwards you can click on that and it functions in the same way that Super Chat does. All right, let's get started because there's a lot to go through today. Last night, it was really interesting. I had this dream where it was almost like a movie. I'm trying to think of an example of this. Contact by the one with Jodie Foster, and it had something like this. But it's sort of like when you are taken out of the planet and you start to see things from a higher level. That was what my guides were showing me. They kind of paused me at a certain level above the earth. And then I saw things in rewind, and they were showing me how far we've come technologically over the past 20 years. And basically showing me from the beginning of the internet, which was in the late 90s, to today, where, you know, we have in our hands, we can hold a computer, you know, as a cell phone. It's like a phone, a computer, everything at once. And what we do now is kind of like sci-fi, what you would see in Star Trek, you know, with their handheld tricorders and everything. That's basically what we have. So science fiction affected science and also technology. So why did they show me this? One of the points that we were looking at was 9/11. And then there were different points in history that I was kind of shown as well, kind of like whenever there was a war or a period where there was a lot of like discomfort or sometimes even loss. And what they were showing me was the resilience of the sort of human spirit and the human condition, where we just keep coming back and we kind of are stronger after those periods. So like after the Cold War, we had a lot of technology for space travel. After 9/11, the companies that stuck around ended up being really big and really impactful and were very strong. So the instability that created like the dot-com bubble burst then gave way to things like, Microsoft was already around, but like Google and Apple and some of the other internet companies that existed really then started to grow. So just know this, we may be in a weird cycle right now, but it is a new cycle that we're starting to get into. I think a lot of the shifting away and falling away, it's still happening right now, but what they were showing me is that won't last forever. There is a reset happening. Everything that's going on right now brought you to this point, which is going to open up new doors. And there's no wasted time or wasted experiences in your life as long as you gain something from it, which is why I was shown the Wheel of Fortune as well in my meditation. So if you could look at this moment as like your graduation point, thinking, all right, maybe I've had enough of this, but I'm so grateful to get to that point of knowing what I don't want, so that I can then start to create. If you've been through a period of loss or change, as they were showing me as well, know then that change eventually has to go into a positive trajectory as well. Everything moves. Even this uncomfortable place that we're in now is going to move. Change is vital, necessary. It's a mechanic of growth. That is how we as humans are where we are right now. We evolved from something that was different into something that we are now. We're still evolving into who knows what in the future. Change is a constant, actually. We're just in a year right now where the change is so fast and so profound. It's basically everywhere that we're noticing it more. Usually it's subtle. And sometimes we look back and you can see it, each decade has a sort of flavor. Music, fashion, and even politics and things like that, they show up certain ways if you look at like 10-year brackets. But 2020 threw it all out the window and everything's kind of blowing up. And it is really our chance to make rapid periods of growth and change. So if you can ease into that right now, what my guides were showing me is better things are ahead. And we've survived worse, we'll survive this. Create something instead of clinging on to the past. So this would be like the Four of Pentacles, perhaps. You have a choice to hold on and be fearful, or you can then start to go into creation and think, no, I'm going to take these things and make pillars and create a new foundation, because you already have that with the Four of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, you even have a little bit more. And it's sort of like, okay, I can choose to be fearful or to hold on, or I can start to create. So be the creator this month. Start to plant those seeds and those ideas for what's next, and start to assume that you're going to be part of that growth, that like kind of upward growth mobility that's going to happen in the future. And your foresight and your sort of planning will help you be able to take off while other people are trying to catch up. Okay, so there's a new cycle. It's already starting. And as we ease into the year ahead, your challenge and your opportunities to keep sort of moving towards what will happen rather than what has happened or what is happening. You want to be thinking ahead. Okay, so again, just to review, new cycle. Everything that's happening brought you to this point and is giving you perspective. You have a chance now to kind of like graduate, and there's no wasted time. It's all good. If you feel like I took 10 years to figure this out, well, that was what your soul wanted. That's what it signed up for. Start to assume now that you can do things faster. We are also creatures that can adapt, and this is your time to really sort of lean into that ability to adapt. All right, on to some more sort of tangible here and now things. The next thing that came through was like an early morning dream that was so vivid that I had to wake up and even smudge a little bit. What I was seeing was the soul being illustrated as a house. Imagine that you have all these different rooms in your soul energy. And what I saw was a need to do some housekeeping. There were some rooms that hadn't been touched for a while. There were other rooms that were opening up. And it felt like people were starting to kind of like test the boundaries here. So the first thing that I want to talk about is if there's anybody new coming into your life, they're going to look at your energy or your sort of soul house and see, is it tidy? Is it organized? Is everything locked up? Or is there a place where I can kind of come in? And that's what I saw. There were some people hanging out in that house that shouldn't have been there. So what I want you to look at in your life is, are there any old relationships that you need to heal? Are there any parts of your life that are kind of messy and that you need to kind of tidy up? The tidying up needs to happen this month. Part of that can be to reset contracts and boundaries with others. And one thing that in particular that I want to hit upon is evening the energy exchange. And what I mean by this is that if you are constantly doing something but not getting compensated, or vice versa, if you're taking something from someone and not evening out that exchange, it's creating a karmic imbalance. It's probably creating some tension in the relationships. It's probably not good in the long run. So this month is a time to kind of sort everything out and think about how to exchange and even things up. That's going to help tidy up your sort of your energetic house, if you will. It's time to reclaim and reinvest your energy and put it into what matters. So if you've been spending a lot on parts of your life that just don't deserve or aren't reacting to it, it's time to put it into something else. You could kind of look at this as like a renovation month. And if you're trying to look at yourself or your soul, think about what you like, what you want to work on. Look at people around you and think which relationships are bringing in positive energy, which are not. It's time to kind of put that to the periphery and then lock the doors. That's one of the things, is secure your emotional house, secure your actual house, because we are going to be in a retrograde from mid-October to the very beginning of November. This is for November, but you're watching this live, so this is a perfect timing to do all of that. Like a house, your soul needs maintenance, and it needs love, and it needs continual sort of work. So this is a time to put that work in to clear the energy of the soul. And one of the cool things that I saw with this was that some of the doors that were once closed to you are opening up. You're being allowed access into maybe creative aspects of yourself that you didn't know existed. Maybe all of a sudden you basically go after a job or something like that you didn't think you could before, because you're starting to see and honor and feel and understand yourself from a different perspective. So openings and closings, basically energetically this month, it was illustrated to me as a house. So just like a house, maintenance, cleaning, securing, and I would even say renovating, all of that stuff is there. And if we put that into practical terms, that could mean like going back to school. That could mean going to the doctor. That could mean deciding to just take better care of yourself. All of these things would fall under that. But in particular, there were little cracks where some people were getting in. And that is the part that I think you really want to focus on through the lens of relationships. You would ask yourself, are my boundaries clear? Am I taking more than I'm giving or giving more than I'm receiving? How can I balance that out? Do these contracts seem fair? If not, what better time than, like I said, a retrograde period to fix that stuff up? Now, this last piece is important. The universe waits for you to be ready. You just have to turn the key and state your intent that I am ready now to receive. I am ready now for this to happen. In the last column of cards here, I have some positive mantras that you can use to start to affect that change. So we'll revisit this in just a second. Is there any part of your life right now where you feel like you're either sleepwalking or just kind of phoning it in? It could be your job, it could be a relationship. It could just be a feeling of, what's all this about? That's normal if you feel any of that. But this month is kind of, it's the universe hitting your third eye and saying, wake up, or like in Moonstruck, snap out of it. So if you are sleepwalking, this is your wake up call. The message from your guides is it's time now to take some action. And procrastination, which is likely a sort of side effect of fear, has no place. Sometimes we're always thinking of, well, I'm just waiting for the right time, or now isn't the right time, or, after this and this, then I'm going to do this. What if the perfect moment is right now? What if these are excuses? What if you lean into your potential to just make it happen and become an agent of creation and change? That's what the guides were kind of imparting on me to impart on you, and sort of saying, make sure that you're not waiting for something that may never happen because you're either a perfectionist or you're procrastinating. So I agree, there are windows of time where it makes more sense. Just make sure that you're accountable with that. I talked a couple times this month about, because at this time of the year, I remember it, this was kind of the point in the year that I had decided in 2014 that I was going to quit my day job and do what I'm doing now and write, which is the other thing that I do. So I was like, I need to do it. And I circled a date on the calendar, which was like mid-January, because I wanted to be out of the job by January 30th. So I just circled it and I thought, I'm going to do it. And then when that date came in the following year, I wrote the 1 or 2 sentences that I had to, saying, I hereby resign from blah, 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 and this will be my last day. And then I handed it to my manager. And that was like the scariest moment. But I made a contract with myself and I kept it. So do that. Like at a certain point, it'll never be done, whatever it is you're trying to do. Whether you're going to propose to someone, quit a job, release an album, I don't care, whatever it is, there's always going to be something where you're done. You're done now. And it's time to move on. So I'm encouraging you to pick that moment. And once you've done it, everything is going to line up around it. It's the same way that what I'm doing for you, works. At the beginning of the month, I choose dates and I release them to you. And even if I change them, I try to give you notice. And what that does is it allows me to connect with you, your guides to come through, all the messages to happen. I have to pick a date. So make a date with yourself to do something, whatever it is you're trying to create, whatever it is you're trying to do. The magic is in the selection and the decision, and also following through and doing it. That's it. So just choose a date and do it. Be accountable to yourself. Try it with little stuff. It'll be easier if you do one small thing at a time rather than trying to take it all in, because I know it can be scary. So try little things and then try something really, really big. Let's talk a little bit about mantras of empowerment and growth. And for whatever reason, as I was sitting here, I was starting to receive positive affirmations. So I thought, okay, let's put this down, because I feel like this will help you as well. So one of the things that my guides wanted me to, again, share with you, and you would use this in you. So I would say, you are stronger than you know, you can handle it. But your mantra would be to yourself, I am stronger than I realize. I can handle whatever this is. And you can insert that there. So that will be one of your mantras that you can practice this month. I'm stronger than I realize. Eventually, you can just say, I am strong. I can handle this, because we want you to kind of like take a step up from that. So that's the beginning. Then you're going to go with that. This one's going to be really important, especially if you're going to ask for a raise, if you're going to propose, if you're going to go after a job, if you're going to try to negotiate for a house or whatever. You want to have this in your head and you want to believe it. I'm ready for love and abundance in all forms. And you're ready to be surprised by how abundant things can be. Part of that is going to be loving yourself. So I love and accept myself. So as you do that, one of the things here that you would also realize is I do not seek acceptance from others, because I already feel that and from within. So if I get it, great. I'm ready for love and abundance in all forms, but I don't need it because I already feel that. And it's not a sense of like, it's not being egocentric. It's just that when you love and accept and celebrate yourself in a positive way, you invite others in that have that energy. The last piece I think is the most important. If anybody in your life can't see these truths, your strength, the fact that you deserve love and happiness and abundance, and that you don't need or want their acceptance because of some sort of codependency sort of thing, if they are somehow not able to see that strength, that independence, and that deservingness of love and abundance, then you're ready to release it. I release those who love with conditions or strings attached. Basically, those who can't love unconditionally. So these little mantras will help you quite a bit, and they can actually help you achieve more in work, get better pay, get better relationships in your life, and mostly just feel better about yourself, because when you start to no longer sort of need the masses' approval, then all of a sudden you just seem really strong and together, and you're probably going to receive it anyway, and it won't matter at that point because it'll just feel good. Oh, that's nice. It'll be like a cherry on top. So there you go. The Six of Wands basically is what we're working at there, but in a different way, because you've got to feel it from within. You have to have the Ace of Pentacles. You have to be like the Queen of Pentacles in order to kind of get the Six of Wands energy. So there you go. All right, we're going to take a look at all of the cards now. We'll get some additional insights on this new cycle, on the boundaries and cleaning up your spiritual house, on making sure that you take action, and then also these positive affirmations that came through. Okay. Let me quickly get all these cards stacked neatly, and then we're going to pull out the Celtic Cross. As I do that, just a reminder that I like to remain quiet so that I can pay attention to all of the images that are coming through and get some additional insights. But don't worry, afterwards we're going to pull up every single card, break it down for the month ahead, and make sense of everything, okay? Okay. Let's get started, Leo. Let's see what's coming through. How much do we love that, that it came through right for you, anyway. Yeah, this is the Light Seers deck that I'm using here. It's gorgeous, has a lot of wonderful imagery, probably one of my favorite, actually. All right, let's take a look at everything and break it down here. So we have a be graceful in movement and in action. I like this one because it's basically showing the ability to, we have like yin and yang here. I also like this, I've talked about this particular figure before. I like that it's kind of androgynous. So to me, the perfect mixture in a human being is being able to access both divine feminine and divine masculine. So for some of you, this could mean being more assertive. For some of you, this could mean softening things up a little bit this month. Notice that behind this monk here that we have a wonderful dragon. There's more power in the balance and being able, again, to access divine masculine and feminine energy than you might understand normally, or that we're given credit for. There's a praying mantis here, right here on the monk's hand as well. So this is also about the timing message that I said. A lot of times a praying mantis is just sort of there and ready, and then all of a sudden, pow, something happens. I think this is the time to take that action. You're ready, that's what I see. And I was talking to the last sign that I was reading about the element of surprise. For you, that's definitely intrinsic to the praying mantis. So, you know, if you want to use surprise, that's great. That would just be more a matter of like not disclosing what's going on and then just sort of like dropping an album or dropping a release or doing something or surprising people with a proposal or whatever it is. But be that as it may, what we're really seeing with this is the time is now. Balance out your energy. If you're normally quiet, this is the time to speak up. If you sometimes say everything that's on your mind, maybe just temper things a little bit. This is about finding balance and not necessarily going to extremes. And you'll be able to manage anything this month with that. Time and energy management as well. So be graceful in movement and action also means take others into consideration, even if it is something like deciding to break up, to quit, to move on from something. You can do it in a way where you have grace and dignity. And in doing so, there's no messes afterwards. Like I was seeing the house. We want a nice, clean, spiritual house when you walk away from something. And I think that's the message there as well. Your central card, I was so happy to see this. We've got the King of Wands. That's you. There you are right there in the background. So I love King of Wands as a center card because it's the ultimate when it comes to being able to be organized, in control, and also just taking something to the next level. I like that we also see that, like, the torch. I think the torch even kind of looks like a crown here. Really beautiful illustration here. So your ideas, your cognitive ability this month, it's kind of off the charts, and I really want you to make sure that you're not taking a back seat in anything. It's your time to step up. It's your time to make something happen. As I said before, the time is now. Beautiful card. We don't see an aggressive king here either, and we also see one that's standing up and moving, by the way. Both of them, both the lion and also the character that's indicating the king here. So it's a relaxed sort of posture. He's got my shirt on, and it's time to just basically take some action. This is also the color of the root chakra. So what we're seeing here is this feeling of, I feel safe, I feel ready to move forward. It's a power symbol. Don't be afraid to wear red. Red is a spiritual. All the colors in the rainbow are spiritual, so we can wear red too. And so there are certain times, like especially in a negotiation, where it might make sense. So I feel like leaning into your power and feeling secure and ready when you talk about things is going to be really important too. But how you hold yourself, what you're wearing, what you're thinking, all of the sort of energetic pieces are going to be just as important as your actions as well, because they're going to be feeding in and coloring that energy as well. So be strong. You don't have to be aggressive, but you can be sort of assertive and active. And I think that's why this came through right at the center. We have the Knight of Pentacles right on top of this. And so for me, this is showing really great potential of growth when it comes to productivity, money. If there's any sort of relationship thing that's going on this month, again, you can set the boundaries, you can set the expectations. This is a good time to look at compensation and money. And that's why I saw here, it's the only one in orange here, evening up the exchange when it comes to how much you're working. And when I see exchange or resources, to me, that can be time, energy, money, love, etc. It's just making sure that it feels like everything is sort of reciprocated. Okay, that's your choice, that's your chance, and this tells me you can manage it, and this tells me if you take the initiative, things are going to go into a positive space. All right, let's look at your deep past. We have the King of Cups here, and I like that this is in the past. I really love that it's upright, and what it's showing me is that we're looking really a lot with lower chakras this month. So I think this can be your first, your second, and maybe even your fourth chakra. So it's really about pulling together that safety, the passion, the creativity, and then the unconditional energy that I was talking about with love as well. So working on the lower 4 chakras, 3 to 4 chakras, getting everything in a good place and feeling again. This one's important too. We can't forget, your solar plexus. So just to break this down, the first chakra is about feeling secure. So is there any part of your life where you don't feel secure? The second chakra is about your ability to express yourself creatively, sexually, emotionally. Like, are you able to share who you are? And the third chakra is your power dynamics with others. Do you feel like anyone in your life is pushing you in the corner? Because this is the month to step out of that corner. And then the fourth one is connecting in a heart-centric way, maybe softening those a little bit and finding a way to use diplomacy. We don't have the King of Swords here, but you could kind of pull that energy into how can I communicate in a way? It's through your passion, through your heart. So 4 and 2 are going to work together, your sexual chakra and your heart chakra, passion and power. And I feel like you can bring it together this month. We're going to talk more about also the fact that you have a lot of opportunities in love, because we did get the Lovers and the 10 of Cups. So we're going to talk about that. In fact, here's the Lovers card. It's reversed, but it's still a wonderful energy to receive in any placement. It's in the recent past. And since we're entering into, like I said, a retrograde period between mid-October and early November, for some of you, you're going to be experiencing this maybe nostalgia over a past relationship, or you might be focusing on a present one a little bit and thinking, how can we get back to the way that we were? How can things start to feel better? What I like about the way this is illustrated is face to face, really looking into the eyes of someone that you love and not sort of allowing your head to get in the way, not allowing the power dynamics to get in the way, remembering why someone was important to you. Whether, again, it's a friend, a lover, a coworker, whoever this person is that you called into your life, there was something about them initially that you felt this sort of chemistry between them. If you can get back to that, then anything is possible. You can start to break down some of the barnacles and barriers that you've built up between each other. And this is a chance to celebrate that love. And yes, to that quote, like, nobody gets taken for granted. And that's a line from Nobody Puts Baby in the Corners from Dirty Dancing. But yeah, basically everybody deserves an equal seat at the table, I would say, and equal voice. And if you can't feel that with your partner or your friend or your boss, whoever is sort of the main relationship in your life, then it's time to reset. Now, the lovers here in the recent past is also showing me that you have the ability to pull new things into your life. So just take a look at your relationships, do a quick audit, and think, am I getting what I'm giving? And also, if you are underestimating yourself, other people may take advantage of you. So I want you not to underestimate yourself. I want you to see yourself like the King of Wands at the center. I'm ready and willing to receive love in all forms. And also, I deserve that. I've been working hard on myself. So I don't need it, but it would be very nice to have that. So I'm ready for that. And I expect people to be doing the same level of internal work that I'm doing. I think those are good things to kind of have in your mind and in your energy. Lovers is an attractive card. So again, if you're looking for new work or looking for new love, this is a good month to experience that. We'll talk about all the cards and then I'll revisit love here in a second, and we'll go a lot deeper when I expand the forecast. The important card here in your crowning position is the Five of Wands. And with the Five of Wands, you want to basically not give up. One of the things that's interesting with this particular illustration is the team is working together. They're not pushing each other away. And in a normal illustration of the Five of Wands, it's kind of like this feudal energy where everyone's pushing at one another. If the five people work as a sort of chain together, then more can get done. And we see everybody lifting each other up so that this top person can take that energy or that flame and put it in a positive space. So look at your sort of web. We had someone talking earlier, Ryan, I think, talking about spider webs or spiders. So look at the connective force between one another. How are you helping each other? Because just like a web, our energy is like that. If one person is off a little bit, everybody feels it. So look at your group, or we can kind of use the weakest link idea too. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Is everybody doing their fair share? Does anyone need some help? Instead of like calling them out and making them feel bad, see if you can help them, show them how you want this to be done, and then as a group come together. So this is really about cooperation. In your own life, if you're working for yourself or if you're just kind of trying to focus more on how you can be the best that you can be, the Five of Wands is saying, I'm not going to give up. It's so easy. Like whatever the journey is, whatever the task at hand is, sometimes it's easier to go take a nap, or you think, I'm not into this. Push a little bit more. Grab some Earl Grey tea if you'd like to. Take a sip and think, I can do this. I'm going to push forward a little bit and it's going to be okay. In the near future, we have the Sun card. And the Sun card is also reversed. You have a lot of powerful cards upright. You have a few that are in reverse. So for this, this is about your ability to use your personality or your charisma in a positive way, but you're not. So some of us were culturally taught that it's better to just sort of blend in. And what I'm seeing this month is it's time to no longer be the wallflower. There may be a situation where your opinion, your voice, your insight could be of great value. And sometimes it's good to stand out, even if we've been taught not to. If there's somebody in your life that this can also indicate someone that just focuses too much on themselves. So this could be a child, this could be a lover, this could be a friend. For some of you, it could be just yourself because you need to work on yourself. So there's someone in your life that seems to be like taking a lot or needing a lot. What you want to be focusing again on this is it a little blip on the radar where they just are having a bad month or dealing with loss or dealing with emotions? We all have that sometimes. Or is it cyclical? Is this something that's revealing itself and coming to your mind's eye so that you can pay attention to it? If it's the latter, it's probably time to walk away from the situation because, again, this is someone who just hasn't grown up. The Sun card is usually very positive. So I would like to take like the Lovers and the Sun as an indication of your attractive energy. And I would say focus on not underestimating yourself, focus on balancing everything out. And I think that's the good part. But again, with it in reverse, it could mean that someone in your life is taking too much. And when you let that person go or you put better boundaries in place, all of a sudden you get your battery back. And then the Five of Wands becomes easy. And then you do feel lifted up and you get stuff done and things are awesome. So pay attention again to that exchange of energy. It was a card I almost didn't put into my channel messages, but at the last minute, my guides were like, no, you got to write that one too. So now I understand it with the Five of Wands. All right, we have the Magician card in your ego, and it's upright, which is the best way that this card can be because it's showing me you can put your mind to anything and get something done. Anything you put your mind to, you can get it finished, basically. I like that we're kind of looking at this wishing well here, or this sort of, it looks like the soul well here, and even like maybe a cosmos or a galaxy. So what do you want to do? I think there's an important thing for you to do right now is to decide, what is my purpose? What is my intention? If you don't know, I certainly don't. And if you don't know, the universe can't help you. Now, if you're soul searching and trying to figure it out, that's okay. That's part of the journey. So this will be worth meditation and analysis, and looking back at things will help you. And then sometimes just taking a chance, just trying something new and thinking, well, what about this? I'm curious. Where is your curiosity leading you? Even if you're not sure, what are you asking yourself? What are you dreaming about? Because as a kid, that's what we allow ourselves to do. Everything's a possibility. It's all play, basically. So if you can get back into that, anything is possible. Allow yourself to paint with all of the colors in the palette, all of the crayons in the sort of carton. Don't just illustrate with one. This is your chance to kind of experiment, because this is the chemist card, and the magician has everything in his or her sort of desk, and they can use it. So my encouragement this month is to play around a little bit and try some new things. And don't be afraid of where it could lead you, because that experimentation could lead to an epiphany, could lead to this decision, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I've always been looking for. This is what I want to do. Okay? So dream big, set some goals for yourself, be accountable to that, as we were talking about earlier. And if there's somebody in your periphery that just can't quite understand who you are or what you're doing, that's their loss. To me, this is showing that there's a lot of power, a lot of potential. I see the potential. This card definitely sees the potential. And I see somebody here who just may be unready, unwilling to sort of celebrate that. And why? Because it's showing your power. When we look in the environment, we have the Chariot. You're taking charge. And that's what I've been encouraging you to do with all of the channeled messages this month, is really to focus on stepping up and having some fun and trying some new things. Very positive placement of the Chariot card. But it is showing that power dynamics could show or rear their head this month. And don't be afraid to steer things in the direction that feels right for you. Okay? That's the only thing that I'm really seeing with that particular card. As we do have a lot of knights, though. We have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles here, and then the Chariot. So to me, that shows me the movement that I was seeing with the Wheel of Fortune. That does depend on what you decide to do, however. Knight of Pentacles is offering up something. Knight of Wands is also following up on that and doing that. And that's what we see here. March to the beat of your own drum, right? What I couldn't be any clearer than that with this particular card. And we see that wild stallion in the background. So a lot of positive movement is possible. I like that she's waiting, though, before getting on that horse. She's figuring out, she's getting herself kind of ready to move forward. I also like that we have a female knight. There needs to be more things like that. So this is your chance, again, to figure out, what is my power? Can I celebrate that power? What is my purpose? And once I can do that, once I kind of get into focus, then people will follow me. And I'll be leading the pack. And that's kind of what we see with this knight here too. There's not a lot of other people in this picture. It's her ride in the background waiting, but she's gonna get ready and get focused. Because we also see her right in the center of the Four of Wands, right? So to me, that is about building your own foundation and your own relationship with yourself first, and then you're inviting other people in. And that's why we're ending with the Ten of Cups here. And in this Ten of Cups, your creative energy is what we can see the ribbon of light, that is pulling everything that you want into creation. If you read Lord of the Rings, there's this, the Silmarillion is a book that comes before it. And the idea was that there was a creative song that created the universe. Basically, there was one energy, and then then there were like these high entities or angels, but everything was a song. And this to me sort of connects with that, where the act of creation is musical. It has like, it comes through your head, and all of the notes, all of the sort of energy kind of flows out from you. So you're the conductor, basically. You are the creator. So what are you trying to create? You can have what you see in this picture. You can have connections to people that you love. You know, the children here could be projects in your life. They could also be children. It could be whatever you want. But basically, this is a direct reaction to the two knights that we saw, Pentacles and Wands, and bringing things in, conducting things in. But you have to kind of know what you're trying to do in order to bring it in order for other people to see that value. Let's talk a little bit about love. Actually, I'm going to wait. We'll do it in a second because we're almost there. I'll wait for the relationship things, but it is coming through as a thread this month. So just hold the thought. Let's go into the expanded forecast. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And what I'll do is I'll go back and give you some additional shades of meaning for each of the cards. We're going to start with health. And this is what the guides were showing me. Not exactly like this, because I was just pulled above the planet, but view from above. Your healthy perspective is going to be about having a perspective and having some sort of looking back. It's always easier to look back and understand the pattern, or it's always easier to have a bird's eye view and see the pattern. So get the big picture. What this is really about in your life is just feeling better, right? Health isn't always just your physical being. This month, it's about what's going on up here, which affects what's going on in here, which then kind of defines how we're dealing with our regular health. So the big picture this month is, what do I do about this? Not like, why did it happen to me? That's good to know too. But like, what am I feeling? What have I learned? And how could this possibly be a blessing? And what am I going to do now to make something better happen? Because I can't control what happened before. It already happened. I can take ownership over it, and I can decide to do things differently. But other than that, it's now about my decisions here and now. So where am I at? Where do I want to be? How can I get there? And is there anything that I need to heal from the past to make sure that this doesn't happen again, or this can be better? That's it. It's perspective. Once you have the perspective, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel liberated. That's why we see all of these balloons up in the air. You'll feel levity or lightness of being. Just for some specific health things, I do think that this is the month to put in the work. The Five of Wands in the crowning position is just really about committing to it, putting in the work. And most of your cards are okay. We're not seeing anything here. There are a decent amount of court cards and Knight of Wands here, or Knight of Pentacles. So Knights and court cards seem pretty balanced. So I really think that this month is just a time to do the work. Okay? So, and get the big picture, get some perspective. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, I've said this most of this year, I think this is a good time to do that as well, to gain that perspective. Okay, so let's look at wealth here. We have trust. This trust is basically the Fool card. And it's about trusting yourself and not delaying anymore. As we were talking about earlier, this is a time for action. So the reverse Fool is inaction. And what I'm seeing here with the card is to trust yourself. So just take that next step, whatever that next step is for you. Your money cards or your resource cards, you have one basically, and it looks pretty good. We have the Knight of Pentacles here, and it's crossing the King of Wands. So you can get control over whatever it is that you want to do. For some of you, it really is a matter of just speaking up or deciding that this is what I want to do, owning up to what you have to do as well. It will be okay. So I think that's the main message here, is to take some action and make a decision on what you need to. You have a positive card in the money area. So even if you're not feeling that positivity looking at the bank account, it's showing me that you can bring it into a better space by investing in something that's going to make sense in the future. It's not just about investing in stocks. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about yourself, a decision, a path, working hard, all of that. But it might be time to, for some of you, the Fool card is zeroing things out. There's a reason that the number 0 is on it. So that could mean I need to step away from this partnership, this job, this house, this debt, whatever it is. There's something that it's time to release because it's no longer helping you. So there is an accountability with that, but there's also like, part of it is understanding that it no longer serves me. So it's a very gentle, it's not like a divorce card where I see judgment or justice in reverse. It's just sort of like, I'm ready to move on. So be willing and ready to release that. And I think positive things will come your way. Knight of Pentacles can indicate a new job coming. The King of Wands and the Chariot and the Knight of Wands could show a partnership, creating a business if you wanted to. It could also be leaning on your friends for some sort of a new idea or a new endeavor. But definitely there's some work. Nothing easy kind of like pays off in a big way. Nothing wagered, nothing lost. Or nothing wagered, nothing gained, I should say. So I feel like you've got to put yourself out there a little bit and do some hard work to make something happen. But it's there. It just requires work on your part. All right, let's talk about relationships, which I know you're all waiting for. Let's look at the expanded card here that says Dance of the Planets here, which is showing me that for some of you, you might even just be feeling the effects of, as I said, retrograde, or depending on the different aspects of your chart, you should look at some of the other readings and see how it kind of plays in. But what I'm seeing here, your end card is the 10 of Cups. So for me, the 10 of Cups means harmony. It's upright. We see the connecting here between people and things and energies that you love. So the end part of this month shows me harmony, and that was something that I was talking about evening the exchange. We have a lot of different people coming through. So let's look at the past and let's look at the present. So for some of you in an existing relationship, you are the King of Wands. And this is about being sometimes very strong-headed, very strong-minded about what you want. There could be someone in your life that's unwilling or unready to listen to you because they're lost in their own emotions. So how can you, this is logic and this is feeling. So what I'm seeing here for existing or past relationships that require balance is trying to find a way to speak somewhere in the middle. So this person, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't matter, even if everything looks good on paper. If this person's going to be very logical. So again, finding the common ground and the middle ground and acknowledging how they feel, and they need to try to meet you in the middle and acknowledge that, okay, I'll explore this. I'll think about it. Thank you for acknowledging that this is difficult for me. You guys got to talk. There's some stubbornness. Notice how the person that is feeling is not listening. So you're going to have to work a little harder in this exchange. But one of the things that you'd want to say is this isn't something that we can always do. If you're constantly having to over-explain yourself to someone because they only think with their heart and they're not thinking practically, then that's indicative of a change, a shift that has to happen, that maybe it isn't worth putting energy into that anymore. For some of you that have just met someone, because we have a Knight crossing this, what I'm seeing is new energies coming in. You might be the more experienced person. So if it's love, you could be a little older, you might have dated more, you might just have more maturity. In work, you may have more experience or more schooling. Someone else could be coming in and they just act really fast. They're speaking and acting and moving kind of like quicker than you do because you're a little bit more cognitive here. So then the challenge in new relationships is catching up and also reminding them that there's a great store of knowledge with you. So I see a maturity thing here where one partner may not be acknowledging the other's worth. And even though this person may have like the newest sort of technology and the newest sort of ways of doing things, there's something to be gained from the older experience here too. So past relationships, it's about finding some sort of a balance between emotional IQ and this, and new relationships, it's about age, maturity, or experience. As we look towards the future, when I'm looking at possibilities, and again, this can be any types of relationships. We're just looking broad strokes here. In the future, I see a better match. We have a Knight of Wands, and since you came through as King of Wands, this is someone who marches to their own drum, but is also very open and who knows themselves. So don't be afraid if you, like in the future, what I see is someone that might be your match. They just may be a little bit younger, and they may be a little bit more outgoing than you. If I see a Knight and a King, the Knight's just going to do what they want to do. Sometimes, and they may be breaking rank a little bit, because normally a Knight should listen to a King, but not this Knight. She knows exactly what she wants, and she's not listening because she's beating that drum. So that's the one common thread this month is younger or sometimes more emotional people not tuning into you. So you're going to have to find a way to break through these communication barriers. The good news is I believe you can do it. And in one of those people, you have a good match and a good mate. Nobody's perfect. There's always a little trade-off, always a little cosmic dance going on with that. But I feel like you can kind of look at these possibilities: the past, the emotional person, the present, someone who has a lot of like they're just great ideas and they're moving fast and moving forward, and then someone who may just not not listen to everything that you say, and they're going to challenge you in a different way because there's a great mind behind this Knight of Wands. So you have a lot of choices in your friends and your partnerships this month. And I think it's exciting to see how that factors out. As aspects of your soul and yourself, you have all of those things too, which is great emotional depth, great ideas, and an ability to take action. So pick and choose when to kind of activate those particular aspects. And we talked about that already. And when we see this dance of the planets, that's what we're also looking at here, is how to not, like, sometimes you lead, sometimes the other person leads. We're getting out of gender roles and all that other stuff. As we saw with this, it doesn't matter who does what first. Let's let that go. That's very 20th century. So what we're trying to do now is figure out, like, sometimes you're stronger, sometimes I'm stronger, sometimes we're both leading, sometimes we're both taking it a chill sort of background thing. But like, if you could just get over that, I think that could also be a big piece of the puzzle, because even the cards that I've chosen, I kind of try to look at decks anyway that break down barriers. But we have like a gender neutral card here, and then we have another one that bends the expectations of a knight card. And that's what we should be doing anyway, is looking beyond age and gender and religion and race and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just like the markers that I use. I like to use different colors. Who cares? We should be using all the markers there. There's no wrong marker. All right. Anyway, let's look at destiny. You have what it takes to get stuff done. Destiny is where you're headed, and you already have that store of knowledge here. Lean into that cosmic self and go forward. I think the time is now. You know how to do it. You know what to do. No more delays. Okay. Let's go ahead now, and we're going to review everything, and then we're going to move a little bit deeper into the soul path. I want to look at some of the changes coming through, like this view from above and the willingness to kind of step into the Fool energy, things like that. We'll go a step deeper in just a second. All right. For those of you that just joined, this is the perfect time to come in because you're going to get everything in like 5 minutes. All right. The image that I saw this morning was this. I did my best to kind of describe it. Or if you look at the movie Contact, we see like the planet Earth, and I think it's the reverse, like going from the top in or from the planet up. I haven't seen Contact in a while, but it's something like that. So I was seeing everything from a bird's eye perspective, and I was watching the wheel of time move. And as I was watching the wheel of time move, I realized that we've survived really difficult points in history, and we've thrived as a result. The Cold War, I would even say World War II, 9/11, and one day we're going to add to this COVID-19 as well, because I think in history, this is going to be one of the biggest changes that the planet has experienced. So everything's bringing us here for a reason. Let's give some thanks and just be glad that we're alive, that we're well, that we're all tuning in today. That's something to be grateful for. There's no wasted time. There's no lost opportunities as long as we're continuing to learn and move with it. Change is not only necessary, but it's vital to growth. And that is how the world moves. That's why we as humans are walking and thinking and not kind of like on four legs. We've continued to evolve and move and become something different. So it's in our DNA to change. We can handle this as well. After the dust settles, new growth will ensue. Just like here in California, I'm sure you've heard it, there's been a lot of fires. One thing that I was listening to on the radio was that some of the fires are beneficial. They actually allow for certain seeds and certain trees to grow again or to break through. So it's just, we have too many right now. But know that even after fires, the forest rebuilds itself. So you can rebuild yourself even after a period of great loss. Create something new. Don't cling to the past. This is your chance to kind of lean into that creative energy. In relationships, you're going to want to establish boundaries, especially if there is not an even exchange or flow of energy. You're going to try to reset contracts or renegotiate them if you need to. If something is out of balance, that's going to be very important right now. This is going to help you reclaim and reinvest your energy into something that makes a lot more sense. If if you imagine yourself or your soul like a home, it's going to need maintenance. Certain rooms need to be attended to. Certain parts of your psyche need to be attended to. Know that if there's any sort of cracks in the foundation, that's where people get in. That's why we're trying to set good limits. Know this, I was seeing some doors opening up. So if you hadn't had the opportunity to try something before, give yourself that permission. Go into like we saw with the magician card, or I just pulled up those magic markers. Try the different colors, try the different things. This is your chance to explore. You just have to turn the key and say you're ready. The universe is kind of waiting. We already talked about the exchange of energy needing to be even. Nothing's free. There's always a trade-off. There's always a cost. You want to have an even karmic debt with that, or no karmic debt, just even things out. If you feel like there's a part of your life where you're sleepwalking, please stop right now. This is the time to wake up. Take some action and realize that sometimes procrastination is just born out of fear, right? And what if you could just ask yourself, what if the perfect moment is now? Why am I really delaying on doing what I want to do? And what difference will it make if I wait another year? And what actually might be negative if I wait that amount of time? You're an agent of change and creation, so make it happen. We talked about some mantras that can help you empower yourself. You would say these to yourself in the first person, saying first that I am stronger than I realize. You could just say, I am strong, and I can handle this. I'm ready for love and abundance in all forms. I don't seek acceptance from others because I already feel that from within. And if others can't see this, then I'm ready to let go of that. There is no, like with love, it's unconditional. If people put strings on it, or if people are somehow adding conditions, it's not love. They don't love me, they love themselves. All right, as we see here with this wonderful kind of monk, we have balance in the yin yang energy, and we also have this moment of action. Just the timing is now is basically what I see. And we see this beautiful dragon behind it, which is the fiery energy that's coming through for you, and it came through right at the center. So power isn't always about speaking loudly. I said that to one of the signs this month, or having to sort of like puff your chest. This guy's really relaxed. He's comfortable in his power, and that's what's attractive, and that's what's great about it. We see a little bit of gray in his beard too. He's lived a little bit. He's experienced life a bit. We have the Knight of Pentacles on top of this. It's a chance for new development, new growth, taking power of your money. Again, there could be a relationship coming into your life where someone can help you move forward too. This could be a nice partnership because we have the Lovers and the Ten of Cups. There's just a little bit of a power struggle there that you guys have to work out. And that's really the common thread in all relationships, past, present, and future this month, is how can I exert, kind of like be strong and assertive as well. King of Cups, be in touch with your emotional side. Know that you may have to acquiesce and work with someone who thinks with their heart, not with their head. You may be able to learn something from them. They're in the past, though. It feels like you can heal this and release it. It's not something that should require a lot of energy. The Lover's card is great. It is reversed. Again, we do see in a lot of these cards, all of the men have gray hair. So I do feel like there could be some sort of an experience energy here, whether it's maturity or years that it's kind of playing into this sort of relationships this month. So be that as it may, find a way to maybe look past age or experience and look into the soul of someone and see why they're there. Look into their eyes too. It's really important to have the eye contact. This person's face to face. I like that. And that's all that needs to be said there. Five of Wands, put in the work. Also support other people. It's not just you, and it's not you versus them. It's a team. And if that team isn't working, then find a team that does work with you, because it's going to feel better when you have that. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't let somebody be jealous of your ability to shine. And this month we have magnetic energy coming through here. So part of what might be challenging is two strong people. So you'll find a way, and you can kind of figure out based on all the different relationship types that I talked about if it's worth it. But I definitely see two very strong individuals. And so some of your relationships are going to be about how to balance out that power. The Magician card is great. Set your intention, work hard. You'll see positive results because of that. Take ownership, take initiative, march to the beat of your own drum. Make room for others who can do the same. Celebrate other people's success. That's a common thread that I've been talking about. And then I see love, I see abundance, I see opportunity coming through. Okay. Get the big picture this month. It's going to make you feel healthier and happier. It's also going to help you make the right decision. Because this is in health, maybe there's a big decision regarding maybe an elective surgery or something else. Make sure that you get a second opinion when we have a card like that. The big picture is about getting some more information. Do your own homework as well. With wealth, it's time for a move, basically, with this trust/fool card. Trust yourself, move into that, make the change that you need to. With love, we see dancing here, and I talked about different people taking the lead. Let's get beyond the roles from the 20th century. Sometimes you both can lead, sometimes one's leading, sometimes neither. Whatever's going on, just communicate so you understand what's going on. And then knowledge, you have that which it takes to move forward. Stop delaying. All right, let's get into the soul path. I want to look at so there is a lot with relationships this month. So my question is going to be for the past. How can we create better harmony? What's the lesson to be learned so that future relationships can benefit and past relationships can either be released or be healed? All right, we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is reversed. And with King of Pentacles, I was mentioning this way back at the beginning about how to get people to see you. And I said Queen, you can have King too of Pentacles. But basically, this is about embodying all that which you seek. I read the comments, and I think somebody was asking me, like, I can't be my child, I can't be my lover, you missed the point on that. When I say be the things which you seek, instead of trying to find balance in others, start to work on yourself and just feel happy and feel this sense of my life is okay. I am okay with or without somebody. There are things in my life that I really feel positive about. If there's something that you don't like, just imagine that new people in your life kind of have the ability of the divine, of God, to look into your heart and soul and see it all. Is there something that you want to work on? What are you proud of? What don't you like? What you don't like, put it into positive things. Like, I'm excited about working on this, this, and this, so that next year I don't have to focus on that. So I can just enjoy living. So maybe that is being healthier. Maybe that is going back and finishing a degree that you did, or going back and finishing college or high school or whatever. Or maybe it's about saying sorry or I love you to somebody who you've been meaning to do that to, but you couldn't to. So this is a chance to sort of just go through that list of things, fix all of the pieces of yourself, your house, your soul. And then if there's something that you wish you had, or you look at someone else and you're inspired or maybe even jealous, but let's move jealousy into inspiration. You look at someone who's successful and you think, I wish I could be like that. Start doing that. And if you look at other people and you want someone beautiful in your life, see that beauty within you. Because if you see yourself as beautiful, if you see yourself as complete, if you see yourself as valuable, then others are going to do the same. They're going to just meet you and feel this sense of calm and completeness. So you won't feel to them like someone that's trying to swipe a credit card and get something in return. It's just going to feel even. So get yourself as close to even as you can. The card's reversed, so it's about developing yourself, basically. However you feel like you need to develop yourself, do that. This is the perfect time because we're kind of forced into isolation. So we can go to online school, we can read stuff, we can meditate, we can heal ourselves. There's some really positive things that can be done in this quiet time. I'm working all the time, but I know a lot of people are kind of stuck between or working from home. Even when you're working from home, it took me 5 or 6 years to get to a point where I could create a schedule and think this makes sense. So give yourself time. Just work on yourself and find a way to make it work, and it will be okay. And enjoy this because it won't last forever, by the way, what we're going through. I know there's some parts of this where it's I can't wait to get back. We're always rushing through the experience. Don't rush through it. Look at this particular king. He's enjoying the time with his family, with his animal, with his children. He's just happy to be where he's at. So you're exactly where you need to be. Focus on personal development and growth. That's going to help all of these other relationships, because then people won't be trying to teach you, test you, taunt you, torture you, because you're going to be okay. You're not trying to get anything proved by being in that relationship. It's a dance instead, like a cosmic dance. When I think of the type of partner that is ideal, it's again someone who's like a twin flame, a binary star rather. Forget twin flame. Binary star, where you're both shining brightly. you're orbiting, but you're not trying to consume each other's light. You're both shining. So that's kind of what you want to look for and what you want to be. By the way, no, I'm not answering Q&A. I am finishing up the reading. Ryan or Maria will fill you in. All right, so Ace of Swords for the here and the now. And this is what you can do to move things forward. So with the Ace of Swords, this is about, I'm glad we actually got some communication here, because so much of the cards this month have been heart, have been sort of action. And this is one of the first times that we're actually seeing communication. So with Ace of Swords, bring some things into action. Focus on feeling like you can move the needle forward a little bit. And notice how this month, it's also really important. This is like the house that I was seeing. If your mind is clear, people can see what you're trying to communicate. If your thoughts are kind of cloudy, if your communication is all over the charts, it's going to be very difficult for people to understand what you're trying to get at. So clear your head, state your intention to the universe, to others. And when we're looking at some of these things, whether it's trying to talk about compensation, trying to talk about equity in a relationship, or even just trying to bring to fruition something that you dream about or hope to create, it does require action and speech. So this is your chance to kind of either put it to paper, a contract with yourself, circling the date, doing something, saying it out loud, but somehow we need to get a download from what's going on upstairs here. So I would say in November, towards the middle to end, because you'll be out of retrograde, put some stuff on paper, talk to someone, talk to yourself, do something where you can actually start to get this moving, okay? And now let's look at the 10 of Cups at the end. How can you bring that community? How can you create that joy? How can you bring this all together? Okay, we have the Hermit card. So what I like about this particular Hermit is it shows that you've already, again, it's sort of like saying now is the time. Notice how they're no longer carrying the lantern. It's here on the hill. They're actually kind of levitating above, and they're becoming the star. The Hermit always holds the star. This is the stage before the star. So what we're looking at for you is maybe it's December or January. Soon, there's a moment where you're going to step into that light and just become the star that you know that you are, and break through some of the barriers and the fears and the insecurities. And it's always scary in that moment of revelation, whether it's pulling a ring out of your pocket and saying, you know, will you marry me? Whether it's putting something out there for people to look at and judge, if you're an artist doing an opening, if you are even just at school or at a meeting and you're speaking your mind and you're worried if people are going to laugh at you. Whenever we put ourselves out there somehow, people can love you or they can hate you. But if you know who you are, it's not going to bother you that much, because it's just an opinion and they haven't been through your experiences, and you have to stay strong and you have to keep shining. But what I'm seeing here is basically this Hermit is almost not a hermit. It's the least hermit that I've seen. They've let go of their lantern. They own the light. They're starting to rise up into the air, and pretty soon it's a new dawn. It's a new day. And I think that's what we use for the meditation, is how can we help you push out your light and make the change happen, make the next movement in your life happen. Okay, let's go ahead now and move into that meditation to help you empower yourself. Before I do that, I'll quickly review the soul path. Focus on personal development. All the things that you seek in others, you probably have yourself. And if you don't, work on realizing that or creating that within. That way it is going to be easy and comfortable and cool when you finally do find the partnerships and the opportunities that you want, because new people will step in and just see you as the King of Pentacles, as strong, as powerful. Put some things into action. Circling it on a calendar, writing it in a book, saying it out loud. It's time to make it happen. There is an inevitable shift and change and movement and visibility that's coming through for you in the next quarter year. So it could be now, or it could be in a couple of months from now. But this is about stepping out from what's expected and doing what's right for you. Okay, let's meditate. Before I do that, quick note: if you haven't already hit like and subscribe, I don't bother you too much about that, but please do it. It actually does help the channel a lot. Sometimes I do the video and nobody subscribes. So if you could do that, that would be great. it just, again, kind of gives me that extra push. I have to stand up for a second and get the singing bowl. So one moment. Please get into a comfortably seated position, and you can even lay down if you'd like to. We're going to focus on releasing some of the fears or uncertainties, kind of get a nice bird's eye perspective, and allow yourself to kind of fly. I also like the idea of maybe going up into an air balloon, but I think we can combine these a little bit. There's magic as a part of your sort of your spread. So what if you were to kind of conjure up your own magical spell, levitate, and become the star? And I think that's what we're going to do. All right. Close your eyes, relax. See yourself in front of this pool of radiant light. This is basically, we're looking at the soul here. So imagine that you are an alchemist, that you are a magician, and that you are able to see into your future here. This is kind of like a well of possibilities. As you take a glance into this beautiful reflective waters, I want you to see your reflection, see yourself as you are now, and pick something about your reflection that you appreciate. It's hard. We often look in the mirror and we just sort of think, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Think of one thing. If you can think of many things, go ahead. Think of a few things that you are happy that you embody. And if you can't see it physically, go within and just feel something positive about yourself and look into that mirror reflection and just give some gratitude first and foremost. And then see the image starting to change. Imagine now that your soul is looking back at you and showing you what it sees. And imagine that its reflection of you is more resplendent than what you see when you look in the bathroom mirror in the morning. It's showing you the strength of character that you have. It's showing you how beautiful and resplendent your heart is. It's showing you how your actions are creating positive movement on the planet. And it's giving you love and thanks. You even see it in the reflection embracing you. This is you. This is you as you truly are, not you as you think you are. Your soul is showing you and inviting you into this well to kind of create along with it. So imagine, if you will, that you could take a step into the well, and we saw that little cosmic dance. Imagine that you're going to dance with your soul for a moment or two. And as you start to dance, your heart becomes lighter, your mind becomes clearer, your energy starts to brighten and lighten. And I want you to keep dancing and keep moving, and imagine that the dance and the music is whatever you'd like it to be. With each movement, with each additional bar of music that you're hearing, you start to get a sense of what's possible. And it feels good to be supported by yourself, to feel this potential of you. And all along, just like the Lover's card, your soul is looking at you with kindness, with joy, with ancient wisdom and ancient love. It's been there with you through every incarnation. So it knows you better than anybody. And its message to you is, can't you see how beautiful you are? Can't you see how much love there is to give? Why is this so difficult for you to see? And maybe some of you want to laugh, some of you want to cry. Just give the soul a hug and say, I see it, I realize. I just am sometimes lost in the moment in day-to-day life. So as I play the singing bowl, I want you to see your heart spring to light and spring to life. And I want you to see a melding of you and your soul. You are the one that you love. You've been seeking this energy, this completeness. It's already there. So I want you to see the two of you spiraling up into the sky, joining together, this brilliant light coming forth as you integrate with your soul and feel the unconditional love that you've been seeking in others, which is silly because it's already there. Embody it so someone else can fall in love with the love that you have. take a moment now, see your light. Imagine now that your rays of light could reach out, touch every part of the world, touch every soul, bless them, bring them the love and the light, especially those who looked into the water and couldn't see anything. Help them see the love and the light that they have within. A lack of imagination or a lack of hope or a lack of patience, that's something that we've all been through at some point. So help everybody see their worth and realize that there is beauty, that there is something looking back. Meditations take time. Meditations take patience. Sometimes the first time that you try it, you don't see anything. That doesn't mean that it's not a worthy venture. Practice. Come back to this anytime that you need it. It's here for you. Imagine now that with this newfound love and light, that your soul is as light as a feather and as bright as the sun. Allow that feather to come back into your crown chakra. Light up each and every energetic cell within your being and integrate the messages from above. You are beautiful, even if you can't see it, even if you give up on yourself. I'm here today to tell you there is something looking back in that reflection. Keep looking, all right? Take a deep breath and open your eyes if you haven't already. And rub your hands together. Put your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top of that. And just feel the love. Feel the love in this room. Feel the love in your heart. And share that with somebody today. And again, I saw we had someone leave, and that's such a sad thing that they said. I looked in the water and I didn't see anything. You just have to keep looking. Patience. You have to keep working. You got to love yourself. So don't give up. I think sometimes we're so used to things being so quick, right? Because of our computers, because of our phones, because of the fact that you can just hop on YouTube and watch a live reading. What I remember, like when I was a kid, I had to go to the library and look in the card catalog and rent things and do things like that. This is so special what we can do right now. This is so amazing. So have patience with yourself. That would be the last message that I have. And that person, I wish they would have stuck through the meditation, because you never know what you'll see. But if you stop looking, then you're not going to see anything. So keep looking, keep working on yourself. To all of you that stuck around, I love and appreciate you. Before we wrap up, I'd like to say a little bit of thanks and gratitude and just give you some ways that you can stay in touch. Everything that I'm about to cover is on my website. So if you forget anything, you can just go there. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. And if you can't remember how to spell my name, just click on my picture on YouTube or you can tap on it on the app, go to the About tab, and everything that I'm going to cover here is on the About tab on YouTube on my profile. All right. If you happen to give a super chat, thank you very much. When this is all on replay, I will pin a comment and put your name there and just say thank you. But in the meantime, I appreciate you, and you're part of the reason that I can continue to add new decks to this collection. You can also help if you'd like to by clicking on the desktop only version. You can use the applaud button. It's not on mobile yet. Again, that's just by the thumbs up and thumbs down. You can also become a member if you'd like to. Anybody here today with green text is a member, and I appreciate you. Another way you can give back is just clicking the thumbs up, the like button, or subscribing. Now, I'd love for you to join me on social media as well. I put reminders on all of these platforms of what's coming next, and it helps me too, because I do about 4 videos a week. So it's good to know what's going on. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I use the story features on Facebook and Instagram. There's actually links within them, so you can just click on it and launch the video, which is cool. On all 3 of these as well, I will post a photo of all of the little note cards that I do at the beginning. So if you forgot that or you couldn't take notes while I was doing it, just look at the end of the day and I should have them up, usually no later than the next day. And if you'd like to join in a different way, Patreon is another way that you can give back as little as $1 a month, or like $11.75 a year or something like that. And it's a great way to support what you see here. My username is Nicholas Ashbaugh, nothing before, nothing after, no spaces in between. If you're following someone else, it's not me. If anybody's messaging you on any of these platforms, it's not me either. I don't use platforms to directly contact people. Just like to say that because sometimes people pretend that they're me and it's not me. All right. For PayPal, if you want to use that, it's paypal.me/my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. Again, to be sure, go to my website or go to the profile page and all the links are there. Only social media that has a different handle is Twitter, because it's 15 characters and my name is 16. So at @Ashbaugh. And that's it. Thank you so much, everybody. We ended right on time. And special thanks again to Maria and Ryan for helping me out, and all of you for working on yourselves and showing up and being wonderful. Much love and light. Let's see, it's Sunday. I'll be back on Monday. I'm reading for Leo, so I'll be doing Virgo next. Thank you so much. And again, I will see you tomorrow if you want to watch for the next sign. And then I'll be back again on Thursday and Friday this week. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a great day and have a great month ahead. Okay. Bye-bye.